Well, welcome back to our Project Plus playlist. Today we are doing 4.0 Basics of IT and Governance Domain, which is 18% of the exam, and we're on 4.3 Explain Relevant Compliance and Privacy Considerations Impacting Project Management. So this is coming right from CompTIA's exam objectives. I'll link to this down below. And 4.3 right here. And this is a small one, so we should get through it pretty quick. Here we go. Compliance and privacy considerations. Data confidentiality. So you need to ensure that your sensitive information is accessed only by the people who should have access to it. And it's protected from unauthorized exposure, so hackers or someone gaining access to it that shouldn't have access to it through a misconfiguration. So this is important in project management, making sure that your data is sensitive and minimizes risks related to things like corporate espionage, data breaches, identity theft. So sensitive data types, some of the most common ones would be personally identifiable information. This is stuff like birthdays, social security numbers, addresses, phone numbers, full names, financial details. Those all kind of lay in that same bucket, just kind of different levels. Obviously, social security number is one of the top ones. So we should encrypt this data at rest whenever possible, as well as in transit. Personal health information. That's data related to your health medical records, insurance details, specific things that identify you as a patient, and what challenges you may have faced in the health area. This is very sensitive as well. There might be other things that are sensitive in your specific industry. So payment card information, PCI. So you should understand the legal and regulatory impacts. These are the laws and regulations that tell you how data must be collected, stored, processed, shared. Even sharing data within a project, if you're dealing with data that's from, for example, Europe, then the Global Data Protection GDPR rights or whatever, global data protection rights come into play. So that means that you can only use the data the way that you said you were going to use it. So make sure that your new project does not run afoul of that. There's also just your prior agreements. So I remember having a data sharing agreement with a sister. Well, this was a parent entity, and we wanted to use that data for some other reason. And some people are like, "Well, we have the data. Let's just use it." I'm like, "No, we have a data sharing agreement with our parent institution, so we need to modify that if we're going to use this data in a different way." And we did. We modified it. And it took a little while, the conversations, to make that happen. By the way, with the Global Data Protection regulations, is it regulation or rights? Anyway, there are U.S. specific ones. So California has the California Customer Privacy Act. And then you have other locations have similar ones. You might not be able to have certain data outside a certain location. So U.S. government data is not allowed to be stored on servers outside of the United States. China has a similar thing. Russia, I believe, has a similar one. Europe, I believe that goes not just to its government, but even to its citizens, if I remember right. You're supposed to store their citizen-specific data. That's interesting. I remember that first came out, we were talking about that. I don't think that's been implemented well. I don't have to see what type of lawsuits they've had. But I remember some of the first readings of GDPR, we were worried that we were going to have to store data on European citizens in Europe. But I've seen plenty of people that are still not doing that. So if we look at country, so that's the country, state, province specific privacy regulations. You need to understand what they are, and not just for your organization, but also for the clients that are going to be using it. What data are you storing from where, and is it going to be okay? Some countries might say that's not okay, or there might be additional things you have to follow to make sure that it works. And then just be aware of your industry, because there could be some industry specific things, financial stuff, Sarbanes-Oxley, kind of talk about personal health information, so that's HIPAA, education, there's FERPA, there's lots of different things that start to come into play. And they can bring risk into your project. So we need to make sure we're complying with the privacy considerations that affect our project. So, which will help our project avoid the risks and keep moving, hopefully, on to success. I hope you've enjoyed this. That was a quick one, and we will see you in the next video. Have a good day.